likely that he authorized it, but it is not proven that he authorized it. But what happened was the CIA wanted to sell guns to this group. Was this the Sandinistas or the Contras?
Contras.
You're right. The Sandinistas were Britain. By the way, Margaret Thatcher was literally doing the exact same thing.
I know,
with the Sandinistas.
She was evil too.
Yeah. No.
But yeah, man, I don't know. Like, he threw his weight around, and
so the CIA sold them these guns, and because it is, again, there's a lot of this that is assumed to be real because it's hard to find actual paper trail evidence for the CIA because they're really good at not doing that. They know, they know when they're not supposed to. They know when they don't need a paper trail for what they're doing, and they're good at that.
Yeah.
But what is believed by many, and I think it's a decent chance that it was That's a pretty good chance that it was happening. Was because they could not pay in cash, the CIA was accepting payment in cocaine, which they were selling domestically. And some people believe that they were selling it domestically through organizations like the Crip Gang Syndicate, and teaching them how to make crack cocaine for their new abundance of cocaine.
And I don't even question that the rise of the various Mexican cartels, such as the Sinaloas, were brought in during that too. So what he also did was so he did all that, right? But then he's the one that really started the idea of the war on drugs and privatizing prisons.
Yeah.
So when you're in prison, you're a slave, and so they can either do essentially whatever they want, right? So they would get paid all this money to have prisoners. So that's why you had people who were selling a few grams of weed, getting 50 years. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's messed up.
It's a lot of social engineering. There's no easy way to describe what he did, and I feel that is on purpose. I didn't technically okay, hon, whatever.
Yeah.
I think there was a lot of bad acting, a lot of misconduct that happened. I think the issue is it's difficult to say how much of this was legitimately Ronald Reagan and how much of this was the American government in the 80s. Because I don't know if you know this, the IRS was also wildly out of control.
Oh, the ATF?
Yeah.
Wildly out of control.
If you look at old things like the Wacko and Waco, which I think Reagan was in office during all of that. These people...
No, not Waco.
Huh?
I don't think he was in for Waco. That was mid-80s, right?
I don't remember. But it's around that time that no, these weren't good people. Even the Ruby Ridge guy, right? He was in with white supremacists. The FBI and the ATF absolutely escalated it in ways they knew better.
Yeah. I mean, they murdered that guy. They murdered that guy's family.
Right. And they threw their wee-wees around. And AI, don't get that note. That's a terrible note. We're going to throw off the algorithm so bad. We're not going to know what the campaign was about.
We're back. I got everything back. So, cool. That was really interesting. And you've given me some ideas for some awful, terrible things I can do to your party. I'm just kidding.
Social engineering and cocaine.
I'm just kidding. I'm not going to do that to you.
I don't know how I feel about this, Dan.
Yeah. I'm a terrible person. Nah. You're only slightly bad.
Not a bad person. Just do bad things.
I just do bad things. So,
yeah.
Mr. Alistair, or the benefactor, he says, okay, so this shady, this mysterious fellow, please give me what happened. Just tell me again. What happened with him?
He spoke. I think. Look, I'm a little bit ignorant. All right, I'm a little bit ignorant. I'm pretty sure it was infernal, though. That's what my dad says infernal sounds like. So,
I have heard infernal before. There, have you? So,
speak infernal if you can, and I'll let you know if that's the same. Can you speak infernal?
well, I don't speak infernal, but I do know of a phrase in infernal that is spoken of. It's not pretty. It's
Let me hear it, and I'll tell you if that's a language.
it's one of those things that civilized people do not utter.
Oh, okay. Well, you do, you
Um,
boo.
and he thinks for a
But yeah,
moment.
I'm pretty sure he was speaking infernal. And like, look, she went pale as a ghost. Like, I tried to do the bodyguard thing. I tried to do my job. And like in that moment, like I don't like her. Like she is a nasty person. She's not kind. Like um, I was gonna stand up for her, like but she was like, no, sit back down and got all weird and everything. And I was like, all right, man, like don't tell me twice. Like encourage me on this one. Never said a word to me. I couldn't see their face. I don't know. I don't even know if it was like human.
It
Like
likely
I'm not
wasn't.
human, but I'm human. Um, this is not that, not even like the mind flayer was like human in a way, but like not this one.
I
He
think this figure is getting more and more. It's like when you
I mean, the
tell a
mind
fishing
flayer was
story.
scary,
it gets
and
more
maybe it's because I was
details.
essentially
The
alone. Like,
fish
what
gets
is she gonna
bigger
be
every
my
time.
backup? No, like I was alone.
Right, like this. Yeah, I think
It was a 12
this is like a
incher.
fishing story.
It was an 18 incher.
Right.
Okay, so he says, if you would abide by it, I would repeat the phrase. I do not wish to, but I think it may be important.
Only if you promise to translate for me afterwards. I promise you, it can't be anything worse than what I've already heard or said. But I'm in polite company, so.
Okay, Dan's gonna rip off Lord of the Rings for this for a second here. Ashnaz Durbatuluk, Ashnaz Gimbatul, Ashnaz Throk Tuluk, Az Burzum Ishi Krimpatul.
All right, I heard bosom, but is that infernal? Is that the same language?
So we're gonna say yes. I just wanted to rob the black speech from Lord of the Rings because it sounds evil and foreboding, and I couldn't make something sound like that very easily. Sure, if I tried.
That was the language. That was it. That was. I mean, he didn't. I don't know. I'm sure like some of. I don't know what words he said, but like hearing like, oh, does that language sound the same? Yeah.
Yes. And he says, well, first of all, Beatrice, you didn't hear that phrase, but you heard the same language.
Right.
So this phrase is understood to be a hellish prophecy of the end of the world.
That's scary.
Uh-huh. It speaks of the fires of hell overtaking Faerun and basically, destroying the world in flame. Great tyranny coming from the
Well, at
from the
least
circles
he
of hell.
didn't. That's the only thing that could have made that experience worse, is if he had said that phrase, that line, that prophecy. That's the only thing that could have made this worse.
Is that prophecy something we need to worry about, or is that just like a thing that you've heard that like crazy people say, or is that like something that we're all concerned about at some level?
Alistair says, I am not much of a believer in prophecy.
Fantastic.
I know of it. It has been spoken to me. There are some of my advisors believe that I should take it more seriously. But let us be honest. I do not think it's very likely that the circles of hell would be emptied into the physical plane.
Yeah, I know basically nothing about that.
They are bound to that place, and there they will stay. I would think nothing of it. This being, however, does sound like he may be an agent of hell.
Now, that does sound concerning.
Lore-wise, he's being loose when he says that they're bound to hell. Like, there's definitely ways in and out. For instance, there are portals in various places that go to places like Avernus. I know of... He knows of one that's relatively nearby, but he considers it rather unimportant because it was sealed off a good 300 years ago, and the ward hasn't been broken yet. So...
Okay, good to know.
Is that the sort of thing where you would be like, we want to hear about that if he mentions it? Is that the sort of thing you're like, where is that? So we cannot go there?
Yeah, I feel like Geo probably wouldn't care, but Dar would, so yeah.
Okay. Then I'm going to refresh Dan's memory on where it is. Here. Come on, open up.
I just need to know where to put it on my pay rate. Like, I'll go there. But, like, how much do I need to charge you?
Oh. Oops.
You know?
Oh my god.
That's what I'm thinking. That's what my notes are for.
My apologies. I wanted to have it faster than that.
No, you're good.
Oh, Dragon Spear Castle is a castle that is a good week's ride by horse south and a little bit east of your location in Waterdeep along the Tradeway, just slightly north of the Tradeway. Relatively close to the Misty Forest, and on about 2/3 of the way between Waterdeep and Baldur's Gate. Dragonspear Castle sits on an old plateau as a destroyed castle from roughly 600 years ago. At some point in that history, there had been a portal opened to Avernus, and that portal is unclosable. So a religious order which doesn't exist anymore, actually, warded off the portal. They basically put like a shield around it, and a magical shield, and it has remained steady despite many attempts by unsavory foes to remove the ward. Before the ward was placed there had been a couple issues with fiends escaping out of Avernus into the material plane, and they had done some serious damage to civilized places such as Waterdeep. The Waterdeep was in its infancy at the time. Ever since then, there's been zero issues with Dragonspear Castle. It is the only location he knows of that has a portal to any of the circles of hell. Avernus is less troubling than the deeper levels. They have a lower hierarchy, so the deeper you go, the worse it gets. So, yeah. He says, don't worry about it. But if you're worried about it, don't go to Dragonspear Castle. So just be careful when traveling to Baldur's Gate. You'll be fine.
Sounds good.
He says, I am afraid I don't have anything to reward you for the job. I could, here's what I want to do, though. I want to get you in...
This is a partnership, right? So, like...
Yes, I want to get you in touch with some of my contacts, if that is something that would be of interest to you.
I'm sure it could be.
Right.
We don't know till we know, you know?
What kind of contacts are you thinking of?
Noble contacts, some who are part of the Lord's Alliance. Would move you up in the society. You would be, you would hold more respect You would potentially gain more prosperity.
God, take that, Dad.
Dan, is this something that like it might be appropriate for Dar to do publicly?
Yeah, probably.
Like this is something that like, Dar could kind of like be the face of, like you know what I mean? Like, oh yeah, like because I'm a noble bastard, like it might. This seems like I don't know. I'm just out. We could talk as a group when we all get together too. But it seems like Darlem would be a natural face for this aspect of the group.
If a bastard child was going to be in a family, this would be
Yeah. This would be a great way to increase your renown in a good way and your reputation, and show all those people who didn't think highly of you before that you really are all that and a bag of chips.
I like it.
Right, like you can be at your, father's side.
Because the Lord's Alliance can have the ear of the council, the open council lord, the open lord, and the hidden lords. So, you would have, if you have, let's just put it this way: if you have a friend in high places, they can influence their friends in even higher places, and
right,
you
exactly,
can get things done that you want to have done, and you can possibly fast forward a lot of really challenging things by calling in the big guns, calling in favors, And the benefactor exists in the city for this reason. He connects people. He wants to bring the city back to its glory days, the golden age that it once had, restore it to the City of Splendors. And so if he can connect people of similar desire and motivation, then that's a means to that end. Now, it's not necessarily...
Right, he wants to find people. He's trying to find people that are aligned with him on his goals of, like, making it a safer, more economically healthy place, and then trying to get them power, right?
That's right, yes. It's not to say that you're not going to be, like, to sway the king of sorts. They don't have a king here, but you're not going to be able to, like, pass legislation because you asked a guy to ask a guy. But you could, like... Let's say you were on you were working on a task that was of very high importance, and you need some. You could really use the city watch, like as cannon fodder or whatever, or you need a specialist that exists, like a detective or somebody who prioritizes one particular thing, and none of you are good at it. You could probably ask for it, and you might get it. You might not,
like if we needed access to like the group of mages.
That
are what were they called? I can't remember their name.
It's just the Mages Guild.
Yeah, so like if we wanted like access to the Mages Guild, like pro bono, or we need to like talk to somebody high up in the Mages Guild, we could, like show up like, hey, as members, as connected members of the Lord's Alliance, we need your help for the benefit of the city. Like, take a look at take a look at these drawings that we have of this weird spell formation and tell us what you think, like that kind of thing, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes. There's a bit of a flip side to this. So the benefactor doesn't know about this. This is just me speaking to you, but your character's probably wise enough to figure this out. You probably can't continue robbing people and get away with it.
Yeah, you have to cut that one out.
That's pretty fair.
You might have to clean up your act, but you'll make a whole lot more money anyway.
Yeah, and like really, we only even robbed this last group of people because one, they were evil, and two, we already had a fall guy. Like somebody else was going to take the heat,
right,
and they were also evil. So like if that scenario comes around again, yeah, I'll probably do it. But like, nah.
I'm also just kind of ribbing you a little bit, but it's also true at the same time.
Yeah, I figured that this is gonna we're probably gonna get like some more benefit of the doubt. Like, if there's another fatal stabbing at some point, we're probably not gonna get in that much trouble.
Yeah.
But at the same time, we cannot get caught with a bunch of somebody else's money.
Especially if it's
No.
traceable.
And I mean, like, look, luckily this attack, I'm sure we can let the benefit, never mind, we're not going to tell him that. On the way back, on the walk back home, I can be like, look, this attack might have worked out in our benefit, though, like, now that I can, like, sit down and, like, actually think about it, because, like, we're never going to get pegged for taking that gold we did. No one's ever going to find out.
Yeah,
There's no way
much.
anymore.
Go ahead and pencil in the 500 from the Order of Inspired Hands, by the way.
Yes.
That's the
What's that,
fee
like,
that
divided by 4?
Rizzy collected that. We could do it by 4, or we could add it to the group fund for the moment because the others aren't here.
Let's do that.
Do that? Okay. Where is the... Okay. Oh, hey! You have crossed off 2 of your desired achievements. Meet the Benefactor and work for the Adventurers Guild. Which, by the way, they're going to want you to work some more jobs if you're going to keep, wearing the pin. So, probably a good idea to go, like, do some stuff for them just to keep your
Yep.
keep them happy. Let's see here. Didn't meet anybody in new of huge importance, so I don't have to write them down. Though I will write down the as a notable character, the Dark One. That guy who spoke Infernal.
Oh yeah.
By the way, it's quite reasonable for you to assume, and this could be an incorrect assumption, but Infernal is a demonic language, so it could be totally reasonable to assume that that's a demon.
Yeah. I would believe anything at this point. It's the worst thing ever.
Yeah.
I know that Joe doesn't believe me, or Dirt. I don't care. Don't listen to him.
You just met, like, a Nazgul, or, like, whatever they are in Harry Potter, the things that are basically Nazguls that I can't
remember. The Dementors. Yeah,
Dementors. Yes. You met one of those, basically. It chilled you to the bone, and now you got to figure out, like, what all that means. So that's, like, I'm going to put that on the list. The worst thing is that, like, at least when I was with the Mind Flayer, like, I had my crew with me, and I didn't have anybody. I was all alone. Discover
and it was death itself.
The demon's intentions. Maybe I'll just put this on a list as a thing that you might be interested in. I've been doing this. Oh!
I'm not cool airship. After that encounter. You know what I mean? Like it. Yeah.
Airship. Nimble rights. Okay, what were some of the other goals that you had that you wanted to do? Okay, so you wanted more nimble rights. You wanted to build an airship or get an airship.
Yes. We gotta pay off the bar some more, but we have to go bars now.
You got so much money, you could probably fund another month of operation after you just got paid. I think. Didn't you make like 2,000 gold today?
I made 30 gold today just from working for that what's your face in the past 2 weeks.
You got 500 from the House of Inspired Hands. You got 300 from the watch. The guard. So now you got 800 from that. You got 1,000 in bar form, and then you spent 300 of it. So we'll add another 700 on top of the 18. So that brings it to 2,500. You spent 150, but I won't deduct that. And then you made 30. 25-30, right? Did I do that math right? The 30 is Liz's money. The 2,500 is like the group money.
Yeah.
And if you were to put that into the bar, I have a note for how much it costs for the bar. $650 a month. Gold pieces a month. So you could run that for almost 3 months based on what you made today.
We need to have more days like today.
Yeah. Are you
Actually,
muted, Zach?
that was a few weeks because we just cashed in on a lot of things today. That's not, yeah.
Yeah, you did cash it on. You must, did we lose Zach?
Where did he go? I don't know.
I have been talking to you guys this whole time, and I've clearly been muted. I'm an idiot. Okay,
I was
so
wondering because I was like, we're discussing some big stuff, man.
yeah. So sorry about that. So we already gave her 300 gold. We she needed another or whatever. Sorry, whatever it was. We owed her another 200 gold to get the bar going for the first month.
Okay.
And then she was saying that like after that first month, it should probably break even for the next month. But what I was saying was, I thought we were going to give her basically one of the gold bars. So we gave her the 200 that we owed her for the month, and then an extra 300 gold on top of that for improvements or to like get a leg up for the next month or what have you. So she's already like she's already overpaid, and that's one of the 500. So then we have the other $500, the other 500 gold bar. I owe 100 of that for the safe cracking kit. That leaves 400. And then we got 500 from the House of Creepy Hands. That's 9.
Yep.
And that's all of the money that we have.
300 for
and
the
then
watch.
300 for the watch, so 1,200 total.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. So you got 1,200 that we can put into the group fund, so to speak. I'm having a hard time finding it. This card, I guess.
Do we have a group fund? I thought we emptied the group fund for the bar.
You did. Okay, so we got to establish a new one. So what did we just say?
I would say let's if we have 1,200 gold now. I say let's give everybody 300. There's 4 of us, right? And then next session, we can talk about how much everybody wants to kick in to a group fund, or like how do we do that? Do we give the group fund a share? Like, you know what I mean? Like, how do we break that up?
Okay, I wrote a note on that because there's no way I'm going to remember it otherwise. So
yeah.
I'll just have it on
give myself 400 gold.
300.
300 gold, thank you.
Yep.
I'm an accountant.
It's late. We could probably this might be a good time to just stop, even though I'm having a great time and I have the entire time. And 90% of this I didn't plan. Like every session, I find myself saying I didn't plan any of this, and it's fun. I can basically stop prepping, which I'm not gonna do. I'm just saying. Let's call it here, and I will post the notes. I gotta probably condense them because I got 2 separate sets covering 4.5 hours. So that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Nice. That is like really good notes.
Yeah. I'll figure out how to put it into bullet point form. It might be easier than I'm thinking. Send that to you guys. That'll get Jared up to speed too. So I guess for any prep that I do want to do, I think I'm gonna focus a lot on these shadow organizations now, and develop some stuff for that, so that if you want to, you could go down into the sewers or whatever, and chase out the criminals from the city of Waterdeep or whatever. Your connections are going to help with that. Oh, I need to prep for you meeting those contacts in the Lord's Alliance, I'm going to work on a little bit of material for the Adventurers Guild so that you have something to do there that'll have some fighting, because we didn't do any fighting today. Despite that, I'm going to give you both, I think, 2,000 XP.
Oh, thank you.
Nice.
We'll have to catch the others up when they join next time. So that doesn't level you up yet, does it? I haven't been doing XP yet. Wait, what level are you?
We get 2,000 each?
Wait. I forgot. We haven't done XP in this one yet. We've been doing milestone. What level are you?
Yeah.
4?
We're level 4.
Okay. Level up to 5. We're going to level everybody up to 5.
Yeah.
The whole party levels up to 5. It's time. Enough interesting things have happened. You need to be stronger. We should be rolling in the XP at this point. It's time for me to drop milestone and start doing XP at level 5.
Okay.
I think that'll then have a more natural progression.
I have 2 attacks now. I can attack twice at level 5.
Sweet. Okay, so here's another note. Thinking forward into the future. Remember how the Waterdeep campaign is made of 2 books? One is Dragon Heist, which is what we're working on. The other is Dungeon of the Mad Mage. Because I've changed how things work, and because it's still compatible, Dungeon of the Mad Mage is now open for you to play if you want. What this means practically is there are 99, or maybe it was 120, I can't remember the number. It's an insane number of dungeons down there. There's 21 levels, I think it was. Oh, it's 100 rooms per level or something like that, and there's 21 levels. It's incredible. Each level gets progressively harder. The book tells me to not I can let you, but to discourage you from going down into Undermountain, where all these reside, underneath Waterdeep. It discourages me from having you guys do that until you reach like level 6. Well, now you're at level 5.
Okay.
So once level 6 comes around, if you guys are like, yeah, let's do some dungeon crawling, it's been a while, you're welcome to head straight to the Yawning Portal Tavern and descend from there if you want. That's one of multiple entry points. I'm going to have to refresh my memory on the other entry points, but that's the popular one. You know, you could probably get some people to bet on you. You can make a little extra cash maybe if you redeem your winnings at the end. You know, I know you guys like that sort of thing. So, the top level of Undermountain is basically available to you at this point. I think you could survive it right now anyway, if you wanted to go down there. You don't have to wait till 6, but it might be advisable.
Okay, I mean, that makes sense to me.
So now, basically, like, I just don't see any point in keeping that part of the campaign closed off. It's pointless. So the whole thing's open to you, as it was written and with my additions. So, I wanted to point that out. So if you're like, man, I really want to go do some fighting, because it sounded like Jared wants to do some fighting, and hopefully he gets this message or sees it in the notes or something like that. Like, there's a lot of fighting you can go do now that you would have been too low level for before.
That's exciting.
Yeah.